There we go. Sorry. Yeah, I had a lot of technical problems this morning just trying to get the stream started. I know I've got all that latency again. Oh, man. Give me a second here. Sometimes it's as simple as changing the video format from one to the other. Let's see. Let's see if that helps. A little bit. Poppo has had a big update and it just hosed everything. Like nothing worked this morning. Like, what's going on? But hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Boomer Tester, your favorite curmudgeonly test automation engineer, screaming at clouds. Today, what I wanted to talk about was this article on Medium by Jason Arbon. It's an AI quick start for testers. This was released back in November, and I remember reading it and just getting a lot out of it. And it came to my mind again. I was like, you know what? Why don't we just go through it and talk through sort of the premise here that Jason is setting up. And also, if we have time, because now I lost time, just trying to get the stream like fired up. If we have some time, I want to go through like practical examples of it. Let's actually try some of the things out, because I remember back in November going through this and it really opened my eyes, because if I'm gonna be honest, I've been I think like most people, pretty resistant and skeptical of AI in your tool chain for testers. There's all that fear that AI is just going to take your job. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure Jason doesn't think that's going to happen. I think most experts don't think that's going to happen in testing. I think what we know, the dirty secret, is that our jobs are going to be taken by other people who know how to leverage AI. I do believe that the amount of jobs is going to shrink, and unfortunately there is going to be people that get left behind. But I don't think it's going to be a wholesale, like, we don't have human testers anymore. I almost started to sound like, guess what's his name? Jesse Ventura. There's not going to be testers anymore in the Baja. There's going to be no testers, brother. There's going to be testers. It's just more people are going to need to shift to understanding how to fine-tune, work with, and manage AI testing agents. That is the future. So you're managing skills, managing a little team of artificial testers and maybe a few human testers is probably going to be the way things change. Because I've been a QA manager in the past. I mostly do consulting and act as a software engineer and test. So more generally, most of the time, more higher level. I tend to get in the guts, but I spend a lot more time managing process than I do managing, getting my hands dirty, honestly. But with the advent of machine learning and AI, it's even less and less. A lot of your menial work can be obfuscated, and that's what this article is about. So let's jump in. And hopefully this scene isn't broken. We'll find out, because everything seems like it's broken. But hope everyone's doing well this morning, or later if you're watching this. And I appreciate Dark Arts Wizard for that follow on Twitch. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. I don't think I've seen you gone live for a while, but I also haven't been very active, so I apologize. Let me get this scene switched over here. Skidoo. There we go. I tried to blow it up because I wanted y'all to actually be able to read the words. So again, it says it's about a 14-minute read. If we stop, kind of go through some of the examples, I think it'll take us a little longer. And I would like to do some practical things and kind of show you what Jason's talking about here. And just another introduction to Jason here. Jason Arbon, former Microsoft, former Google testing guru. He is the founder and CEO of Testers.ai, which I demoed actually on Monday. Think about that. I demoed his, I guess you call it, app on Monday, and got some interesting results. I had a good time with it. I think there's tons of potential. And again, it kind of shows, it very, very much exemplifies this idea that you'll be managing these sort of tools, and the menial stuff is really going to be mostly automated. You're just reviewing. You're acting as, Jason said this before, you're acting as an oracle, really. You're the oracle. You're the final stop here, right? But you've got help. You've got all this help. So yeah, that's Jason. He's got 229 claps in here, 3 comments. We may even look at the comments. I think this woefully more people need to see this, and that's another reason I wanted to feature this and kind of discuss it. And I know the dude over on Kick's not there anymore. He's just trying to sell something, it looks like. So I apologize there. Goliuyurt over on Kick. I don't do affiliates. I don't pay for services. I'm doing this for funsies. I stream for funsies. I have no delusion that I'm going to be able to do this as a full-time job. This is like a side hobby for fun. Same thing as like game dev. I'm starting to learn game dev on the side for fun. I have no delusions of grandeur. It's just going to be a hobby. You know, like my dad's generation and my grandpa's generation, they would build, like my grandpa would build like scale model airplanes, and my dad would do, what did my dad do? I don't remember. But yeah, so that's just, I think that's my generation's model airplanes, is I'm gonna game dev and stream. So no delusions here that I could do this as a full-time job, or that I need to grow or do some gimmick. I'm just gonna do unfiltered discussions and live streams where we can sit and talk about testing without having to enter a sales funnel or a lead. You know, this isn't a lead magnet for anything really. It's just to have good discussions and sharpen ourselves, including myself, on software testing. Under no delusion. So, AI quick start guide for testers. Let me drop the link for this in chat, at least in Twitch. Twitch tends to be the most active here. I hope I have the right category in Kick. I didn't think about that. I don't even know what I'm streaming to at Kick. Hopefully it's software testing. I didn't think about that. Maybe I could go fix that really quick while I've got a sec. It could still look like I'm playing. Oh, it says indie games. Yeah, I'm totally streaming to the wrong. Let me see here. How do I fix that? We'll fix that really quick. Yeah, we'll go to Restream. It's easier to fix it there because I use Restream as a let's see. There we go. We'll fix this. There we go. Hopefully that'll push to all those they'll be like, you're not playing indie games, you're a liar. There we go. Now it looks correct. No one's watching, but it's correct. And same with YouTube. YouTube's wrong. I know what I'm doing, I swear. I don't know what I'm doing, but I tried to do what I'm doing. Okay. So there's a link if you want to read this yourself later. Go through it. So Jason starts with, here's a quick start guide for software testers looking to quickly incorporate AI into their workflow. Important. If you're concerned about privacy or security when using AI, don't stop here. Refer to the privacy and security section below. Yeah, because I've said this before when I demonstrated Gen AI assisted code review. One of the things I suggested, I needed to show how to do it, is that you opt out. So you have the option to opt out because it shouldn't be any secret. If you're using any of these bots or AI services for free, they're using your data. They're using your data to train the model. I feel like chat's getting away of this, but hopefully this is still readable. 133% is probably good. Hopefully it's readable. But yeah, you want to make sure if there's any way to opt out, you want to opt out, because otherwise you're using this at work. you could be giving your company's data over to one of these AI companies, and they'll use it as training data. And there's been little hiccups in the past where API keys that are real API keys have shown up in generated code. So yeah, make sure, most definitely. And it looks like Jason's going to have more direction here. I apologize, I haven't read this since November, so we're discovering it together. The next caveat he has here is that the cost of $30 is a barrier to adopting AI to enhance and future-proof your career. Check out the cost section below. Yeah, I've done this. I've integrated AI as part of my day-to-day tool chain for free. You can get a lot done if you pick multiple models and multiple tools. You can do this for free. Like if ChatGPT stops giving you what you want, switch to another model or switch to another platform or whatever, in the sense that eventually they cut you off on certain parts of the service. But you can sit and chat with ChatGPT ad nauseum. It's just when you ask it to do certain tasks, and same with when you look at Cursor, eventually you run out of like the premium model they're using, and it goes to their default built-in model if you don't want to pay them monies. But like Cursor, ChatGPT, Amazon Q, Copilot, almost all of them have some sort of free service or platform that you can rely on if you just want to get your feet wet. Just realize, just like anything else when you're doing for free, you're selling them your data or giving it to your data. If you don't opt out, you probably still are in some way giving them obfuscated data. Even if you opt out, I bet you there's some form of obfuscated data that they're collecting. There's no way. There's probably something in the user agreement. Sorry, let me get a drink. Of course I have allergies too, so. But yeah, and there's ways you're going to have to use multiple platforms if you don't want to spend money. So you're going to have to accept the fact you're going to jump around and use different tools. I could not agree with the next statement more. Like, have this tattoo, have this tattooed on like your forearm or something. Starting now is the key. I agree. The most important step is to start now. This might be your last best chance to get ahead. Yes, I agree. Get started now. Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated. At least start playing with these tools. Please. I'm begging anyone watching this who's in some form of software or tech, please start playing with these tools. I know there's so much controversy still. There's so much controversy around these tools, but they're becoming more and more ubiquitous. They're becoming a part of our day-to-day. So please, I know it sucks. I know it's weird. But it's probably similar to the way I remember. I don't know if there was probably people that felt this way about the internet. I remember sitting in my school computer lab. We would use Netscape Navigator. We would dial in and we would surf the internet, and there was hardly anything there. Back then they probably thought it was a novelty, but this is probably one of the most prolific advancements in technology. The danger and the risk is high, but to ignore it is foolish. To ignore it is really foolish. Jason says AI tools like ChatGPT are currently more accessible, affordable, and effective than ever. Yes. And they continue to get more accessible, affordable, and effective. Use ChatGPT for everything. Drafting emails, creating test cases, analyzing reports, and even brainstorming during your lunch break. Yes. Yes and no. The key here is to make sure that you don't lose your ability to think for yourself. You don't lose that spark of creativity and usefulness that you have as a human, and use AI to obfuscate out the menial and the things that don't interest you, that you can still proficiently do well, or it can proficiently do well for you. But yeah, you can. I've used ChatGPT for brainstorming game ideas or ideas for streams. Actually, I just be like, hey, I'm trying to brainstorm, and it gives you a little bit of novelty. Like, okay, this gives me things, and I built off of those ideas. I took those as like a seed of an idea and then built them. I didn't let ChatGPT create the rest of the idea for me because I wanted to own it and put my stamp on it. And that's what I would encourage. If it generates test cases, review them. It's like, to me, it's not so strange. And it's probably not that strange to Jason, because we've been in leadership and management positions. It's not weird to review a pull request when you're a QA manager of multiple QA engineers who are writing automated tests. It's just now those people, some of them may be AI, right? Or test cases. You review and say, hey, actually, I think this test case can be broken out. This one's a little too long, whatever. You spend so much of your time just doing review of that work when you're a manager and making sure that work can get done and making sure it gets to the right people. So to us, it's like, oh yeah, well, okay. I mean, this is It stinks for people that their only skill set is, being that person. But again, we need to adapt. We need to move forward. And it's just like the advent of any technology that automates parts of our life. We can embrace it, or we can fight it and deny. But I think in this case, we gotta try to embrace it as best we can. If you're unsure how to use it, don't waste time on classes or tutorials. I agree. Treat it as a personal assistant and just start asking questions. Yep. Please do. Start asking it questions. Totally agree. If you can't figure out how ChatGPT can help with your work as a tester, you likely haven't tried enough. I agree with that. Or maybe resisting as a defense mechanism. That's what I did for a long time. I was, you don't want to feel like you're like contributing to the problem. Like, no, I'm not going to contribute to the problem and rely on these tools and lose my ability to think. But once you start using it, you realize it's an accelerant. That was the thing that was really eye-opening for me, was I realized I was accelerated. And I realized that I had more headspace for higher level design thinking because some of my menial things were partially automated, or at least, the beginning of them was partially automated. I could have a test case like template that had most of the guts, but then I went through and made sure, okay, there's some things I don't like. There's some things I would tweak here, things like that. And again, it is weird. It's a shift. And once you start using it in your day to day, it starts feeling really almost like cheating. It does feel like cheating. It feels like you're in school and someone's giving you the answers to like all of the easy menial daily work. Like someone's doing like, okay, I know how to do all these math problems, but then when it comes to the high level like algebra, now I'm having to do that, or as like an example, like, okay, what's 7 times 2? You're like, oh, duh, that's 4, it's 14. But then you just start getting to more complex formulas, slope, and things like that. You're like, oh, now I'm going to have to, even though you could still, as an example, there's kind of this idea, then the menial, it feels like cheating because like the menial things become so much faster and easier. And then again, it feels like you have so much more brain space left for the higher level, more difficult problems. But yeah, I had that defense mechanism too. But without learning soon, you risk being left behind. I agree. I completely agree. I think this is more people need to hear this. More people need to hear this and internalize it and accept it and not get grumpy and not. I think there's so much denial. And as abrasive as JCQB, I think he's right. I think often people that are innovative and see the writing on the wall can seem really abrasive. It can feel really, really abrasive when someone tells you that certain aspects of your job can very easily be taken care of by automation, or mostly be taken care of by automation. Because the fear is that slippery slope of like, well, then what will I have a job? But again, not if you learn how to become an oracle, a test oracle, or a test manager, or whatever we want to call this new role. Safety and alignment, whatever you want to call it. Because we are going to have to you are going to have to understand how safe these systems are. It's going to become part of, in my opinion, safety and alignment for AI and machine learning is going to partner with or meld with software quality and risk, because they're going to be so tightly coupled. Yep. You risk being left behind. Starting is super easy. Just follow the guidance below. And he's got a couple of key things to keep in mind, which I think are also important. Oh, I bumped my light. What have I done? I'm a professional streamer. I swear I know what I'm doing. There we go. And my webcam, I don't know what's going on. It's got like some color correction problem going on, but it's fine at this point. It doesn't matter. Okay, so when using AI or LLM, so AI are obviously artificial intelligence, LLMs, large language model, as a tester, here are key things to keep in mind. Context. And these are all really important. And I think a lot of the criticism of AI is diffused or challenged with some of these. So context. Help the AI help you by sharing what's happening. Clearly explain what you're trying to accomplish and how the AI can assist. Don't assume the AI can read your mind. I've seen this so many times where be like, I put this prompt in and it gave me this. It's like, well, you garbage in, garbage out. Provide as much data as possible. This could include test cases, product code, logs, screenshots, or even team photos. If the AI's responses seem incomplete, it's often because it lacks sufficient context. Don't hold back. Equip it with the details it needs to give you the best possible answers. This is like being a manager of people in software testing. Your job as a manager, as a QA manager, is to empower your team to succeed. And part of that is making sure they have everything they need. This is the same thing, I'm telling you. The future, whether we like it or not, I think, is to be a manager or oracle of these agents. It's a chatbot. Chat with it. I'm trying to get this all the way down. There you go. Don't treat it like a search engine. Right. Have a conversation. Simple questions lead to simple answers. Again, garbage in, garbage out. You give it a garbage question, it'll probably give you a garbage answer, or it may surprise you with some insight, but likely, if you don't give it all the info it needs, it's going to guess and give you garbage, just like a person would, or similarly to a person. Instead, ask complex questions, request detailed explanations, generate test cases, and seek iterative feedback. Dive deeper, ask why at every step. Yep, AI learns from your conversation just like a child. Now, that's where you have to be careful about sharing. But yes. Often, if I see that an LLM has generated code for me, and I don't understand that code, I will ask the LLM to explain the code to me. Yo, what's up, Andre Alcaza? Apologize for pronunciation. Welcome. We're discussing how AI can be leveraged by testers, or how you can add it to your tool chain. Going through this article from Jason Arbon on Medium. We were just talking about, with AI, it is a chatbot. So chat with it, seek iterative feedback, and dive deeper. Ask why. I often ask generative AI, like, how does this code work? Explain this to me. Why is this? Or ask it, like, why is this the best approach? And it may give you links and things. And so it's really important, again, to not lose your ability to be inquisitive too, as you're using generative AI in your testing. Be inquisitive, ask questions, learn, use it as a learning tool. Learn it. Imagine you've got, a fairly proficient developer with you, or tester, or automation engineer with you, and they write some code you don't understand. Ask them why. Why did you do this? Because they likely will be able to explain why it's the best. Or weirdly enough, sometimes when you press LLMs, they'll be like, actually, this isn't the best way to do it. And they'll tell you why. And that's again why you have to be the oracle, and you have to be careful too. There is hallucinations, and I think Jason gets into that in the article. Let's bump down to truthiness and accuracy. Many testers worry about LLM AI output accuracy due to stories about hallucinations or errors. Yes, they're not just stories. I've personally experienced. I use AI a decent amount in my day-to-day for software testing, and it definitely hallucinates. It makes mistakes. One example is I was trying to create a study guide for, I have the paper here, but it's the certified tester, the ISTQB. I think that's it. I'm studying for it because I know I could pass it, but I'm just a perfectionist. I want to do really well, and I want to dig into the content, make sure I internalize it, and make it a part of the brain space. So I was like, well, let me create a study guide, and I'll have ChatGPT help me, because this is like menial work of creating, summaries of each chapter. And it was hallucinating chapters that didn't exist. And I was like, where is this coming from? And then it was missing chapters that exist. And I gave it a link. Pretty sure it was ChatGPT. I gave it a link to the PDF, the curriculum for the course. And it was just doing some strange things where it was like hallucinating additional chapters and missing existing chapters, which I thought was strange. So I would be careful. That's why you need to be, you need to be the oracle always and check this stuff. So remember, testing questions are often straightforward. If you provide clear instructions, AI can deliver highly relevant answers. I agree. Complex or ambiguous prompts lead to unpredictable responses. Yes, that is true. And that's a case where it's like, I probably could have been more explicit in that case, and I may try it again later. I may try to have it generate a study guide for me. Number 4, speed and cost efficiency. AI is 100 times faster than manual work and 100 times more cost effective than human effort. That's interesting. I wish there was a link here to some statistics there, because I would like to understand where that number comes from. Don't hesitate to experiment and explore its potential. Yes. The time you invest in learning how to use AI will yield significant efficiency gains and transformative results. I agree 100%, because I've been using AI for code reviews, and I don't put it in our pipeline. I use it statically using the built-in IDE add-on in VS Code for Amazon Q. And I provided a .md file that has all our rules for test automation, including rules that aren't necessarily like linting or static code rules. It's like style and approach and design things, and it catches stuff. And it helps give insight where I could miss things. And I can do my best. I still review the code, but then it's like having a little assistant with you that's going to go, oh, did you see this here on line 23? They're using, they've got a hard-coded value that violates our rule number 14. So I completely agree here, with a caveat of still be cautious. The tools can hallucinate. They can lead you astray. You have to really make sure you're giving it good information. Don't assume it's like reading your mind and knows what you want. You have to be. It's just like going back to being a QA manager. It's just like going back to someone that reports to you. If you're a QA manager, you have to give them everything that they need to succeed. It's just like with a person. So don't assume like, well, can't you just figure this all out based on one little prompt? It's like, no, you are going to have to add context, the important information for it to succeed. Let me get a sip here. Okay, number 5, it's smarter than you think. Approach AI as though it's smarter than you. Yeah, I mean, smarter as in it has, imagine you had access to like all the data on the internet and you were like raised on it or grown on all the data, relevant data on the internet, hopefully relevant, we'll just do quotes. It might occasionally misinterpret your instructions, but with the right prompts, it often provides superior solutions. And then he's giving advertisement for Checky, which I think he's not really doing Checky anymore. He's really, I think, pushed to testers.ai, which we'll look at really quick, in case you're curious about it. So testers.ai, I did a demo for it the other day. They have a free version. It's an app that you run, and he has full service, which I know nothing about. Reach out to them and their team. But I ran this against Twitch and against YouTube and got some interesting results. The least valuable thing that I saw out of them was the test cases. And this could be because it's the free platform, but it is a place to start, and it did point out some things that could be potentially issues with Twitch or YouTube. But in my case, I run Linux, so I ran this as an executable in Linux. You have to CMod it. You have to use, I believe you have to give it your sudo password, because that's to touch some files, if I remember correctly. So fair warning there. I used a VM. I tried to use a Docker container. That's another story. I tried to get it running Docker, and I kind of want to still. There's just a part of me that wants to get it running in Docker, because I'm, I don't know, glutton for punishment. But so you do have to give it sudo. In Linux, I don't know about. I can't vouch for other platforms. I have to pee at. What's up, Frightful? Good to see you. I shall now leave. Fair enough. As Deltarune comes out in 1 hour. Oh, really? I didn't realize that. I know the demo was out for, it seemed like forever. That's pretty cool. I honestly didn't know. I've been keeping track more of Elden Ring Night Rain. I want to watch some streams of that, watch some people play that, and I'm trying to debate whether I want to add another game to the pile of games I don't complete. But have fun with Deltarune. Please come back like Friday and tell me what you think about it. I honestly want to hear your opinions on it. Because I'm interested. Being a dad, I'm really non-committal because in the sense that I have to, think about my time efficiency. Is it fun? Okay, yeah. I want to get into Night Rain, and I have lots of friends who play, so I think I should. Just it's not that much money, but it's good to see you though. Enjoy Deltarune. I know you probably got to jump. So yeah, check out testers.ai. It is free. You can run it. Just remember that. Be careful. I don't know how much data they're collecting. But next, pick an AI LLM chatbot. I would say with this, honestly, pick them all. I'm very non-committal to everything else. I have to be non-committal with my friends. I have to be non-committal with everyone outside of my family. Because like if I commit to a game, if I commit to playing a game online with friends, there's no guarantee I can actually be there because my kids are always going to come first. My wife and my kids. I'm a boring cis white male. So who loves his family? Prioritizes them over video games. Even though I love video games. I knew you were kidding. So yeah, all major chatbots are useful for software testing. No single one stands out as best specifically for software testing purposes. Though I've gotten really good results from Amazon Q compared to Copilot. FYI. It's kind of like having different people on your team. Everyone's going to have things they're better at, and it's up to you to kind of discover that. So I actually think you should use them all. I think all of them. When you do hear one is better than the other, it's often just momentary. Yep, as they're developing. All of them have the same core value for software testers for most all purposes. ChatGPT, OpenAI, the Kleenex of AI chatbots, or I'd say the Nike shoe of AI chatbots. You can't go wrong with ChatGPT. I say create an account. It's free. Create an account. It's free. They give you access to some of their better models for a little while. It'll generate a few images for you before it wants you to pay money. It'll generate GIFs, animations. And honestly, if you're just going into this to generate images for some reason, you can just run Stable Diffusion locally yourself. It's not that hard. Get like WebUI Forge or something. But that's a side tangent out of scope of this. In this case, you're using it as a part of your tool chain, as a place to think. ChatGPT cannot go wrong. Claude, same thing from Anthropic, Copilot, Microsoft /Git, GitHub, and Gemini, Google, and then Amazon Q. I would add Amazon Q to this list. Amazon Q have been getting surprisingly really good results. And my chat is being goofy. Oh my gosh, what is going on? It's madness. This computer's been acting crazy since I updated Pop OS. But yeah, I would add Amazon Q to that list. For those that don't know, tippa-tippa-doo, we're gonna Google. Yeah, Amazon Q is a generative AI assistant. I use it for code reviews. And I have a GitHub repo for that. Incomplete README, but you should be able to follow it. Did I not? Okay, hold on. My vault is locked. Not now. Did I make an error? Hold on, folks. I am not going to do that. Usually it's a fat finger moment. There we go. Yeah, if you go here, AI assisted code review with Playwright, you can apply this to any other test automation framework you can think of in any language you want. But you can follow this and you can demo out using Amazon Q or Copilot for generative AI assisted code review. And you can star it if you're really nice. Some of these links don't work because they're going to things that don't exist yet. I want to put a way to donate, because if this was useful to you and you want to throw me a few bucks, help me buy coffee, help incentivize me to do more of these and maybe to shoot the proper YouTube video for this, that'd be awesome and helpful. But if not, no sweatsies. I offer this completely for free. I'm going to probably keep it up to date for my own selfish reasons. But one of the quick things to notice here, again, that README, and then the code standards.md file. That's what you're going to want to feed to your generative AI so it knows what your standards are and it knows how to find them. You can write your own. You can use mine as a starter, whatever. In fact, you can use ChatGPT to help you generate that file or any of the other platforms. Have it help you generate a code standards file based on best practices and things. But yeah, that's there. I use Amazon Q for that. I use specifically the IDE add-on in VS Code. Okay, so we're talking about those. I say use them all. Try them all out. Don't be afraid of them. They're not going to bite you and throw you in the basement. So generate bugs. Here's where Jason and I disagree. I disagree here with Jason, but that's okay, because I feel like the purpose. So he says that as a tester, your goal is to find and document bugs. False. I don't agree, but it's okay. It's okay, because finding bugs is a sufficient way to be a decent software tester. The best software testers provide information to the right stakeholders and don't make a judgment call on certain things. And they mitigate risk. They help make a plan to mitigate risk. Bugs is just part under an umbrella under all that, in my opinion. I think it's a little too narrowly focused to just be a checker. Like, I'm going to just check these things and give you all the things that are wrong with it. That's not a ton of value. At least persistent long-term value, in my humble opinion. I think there's so much more you can provide. But using AI to find bugs is very, very real and very possible. And one of the great uses of it that can help accelerate your workflow. So take a screenshot, capture anything, a web page, text document, product requirements, or even network traffic. Yes. Upload and prompt. The problem is with a free tier, I'm trying to remember, I think there's some restrictions on how many images it will parse in a way for you. So just keep that in mind. Again, that's why I like having all the tools. I'm joining you from a session to try to reproduce a nasty race condition that happens on prod that's caused by 1 millisecond delay in one event. Consumers. Oh my gosh, but what's up, Shibby? I'm sorry. If you want some help, we could get on a Discord call or something, but if it's proprietary work stuff, maybe I shouldn't. But I'd be tempted to troubleshoot this live. Let's figure this out. I love doing that stuff. That's often what I get pulled in for at work. Is someone had some failing Cypress tests on another team on another contract, and I knew what the problem was, but they were sort of in denial. I knew exactly what was going wrong, and I told them it's an environmental issue. I can tell. They had an exception bubbling up from the app itself that was causing Cypress to halt, because if there's a JavaScript, I just need to vent. I'll get there eventually. Yeah, you will. I believe in you. You got this. You got this. But that's frustrating. Yeah, those little race conditions drive me completely bonkers. I hate them. And they thought this was a race condition. And I was like, no. You've got an environment problem. And we found out the problem was that they were running these tests locally and they pass every time. When they put them into GitHub Actions and CI, it would fail every time. And I was like, it's environmental. It's environmental. It's as simple as that. Something's wrong. He's like, well, the configuration is the same. So what we ultimately found out is their mocks, they had mocks configured. Those mocks were causing the page to fail only in CI because the mocks were set up for local. The mocks were not configured for CI. And so it was causing the page to fail because the mocks were incorrectly configured, which then caused an exception on the page they had never seen before that then bubbled up to Cypress and killed Cypress every time. But I saw it so clearly the first time he showed me everything. He's like, oh yeah, it's environmental. We'll find an environmental. It's like, no, it's something wrong with Cypress, or there's some, they're like, they weren't following the right trail of logic. But I hope you figure it out. I think I know you will. But today, what I've been talking about is adding AI to your tool chain in a kind of practical sense. And we're kind of talking about being smart, opt out. If you're going to use it, make sure you opt out to using for the companies to use your data as training data. Realize it's going to hallucinate. Garbage in, garbage out. If you give a bad prompt, it's going to give you a bad response. Just like we've been talking about the fact that really the future, whether we like it or not, the future is, this we're just talking about general tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, Gemini, Amazon Q. We're kind of talking about like the more conventional tools and how you can use them day to day. Like, for example, just giving a screenshot of a web page to ChatGPT and have it look for errors. In that case, you are still in the loop. You're still the oracle, but you're getting a little help and assistance. So now we're talking about generating bugs, which, again, capture anything that could be useful to the LLM, probably ChatGPT in most of our cases, right? And we can, and upload and prompt. Ask AI, check the screenshot for any bugs. If there are any, please list them. If not, don't list any. And you see in this example, check the screenshot for any bugs. If there are any, list them. If not, don't list any. As a tester, always include the option for AI to return no issues in your prompt. This helps ensure that AI doesn't hallucinate or invent problems. Yes, where none exist. Be explicit, because it doesn't fully understand the task. The AI will try its best to find bugs, but it's up to you to review them. Yes, you are the oracle, and decide which ones might be interesting or useful. Who can argue with the quick, free bugs that you can take credit for? Yeah. I mean, in this case, the AI identified several issues, even spotting an inconsistency in the font. You can see ChatGPT. We found our first bug with AI. Try asking the AI if there are any bugs or issues with the web page or application you're testing. It's embarrassingly easy, incredibly fast, and let's be honest, what testers wouldn't want free bugs? So let's try that right now. We'll go to ChatGPT. Okay. And I will log in. Zibadoo-bitty, hopefully. There we go. You know what my username is there. You all already know what my full real legal name is. I'm not like the Primogen. And you can see all the stuff I've asked, I've even asked it like, I'm hacking the mainframe. I'm in the Baja hacking the mainframe. So for example, let's go to Twitch. And hopefully it doesn't autoplay anything. So we're gonna take a screenshot, right? If I do this right, here we go. We're gonna take a screenshot. Hopefully you can still hear me as I do. All right, so we just took a screenshot of the page and we're gonna upload. Let's see. Screenshots will be from today. So we're gonna use Jason's prompt here. Let's go back because he had a really nice prompt. Check the screenshot for any bugs right here. So we're gonna prompt ChatGPT. We give it, so it's as simple as this. Give it a screenshot of your page and ask it, check the screenshot for any bugs. If there are any, please list them. If not, don't list any. You're giving the ChatGPT the opportunity where it doesn't have to attempt to hallucinate stuff for you. You're trying to give it good direction here, right? Let's see. We gave it a screenshot of Twitch's main page, right? It says, upon examining the screenshot, I do not see any UI or visual bugs in the Twitch interface. Everything appears to be functioning, rendering as expected. All thumbnail previews are loading properly. Text and labels are clear, not cut off. The layout is consistent with no overlapping elements. Live indicators, ads and sidebars are displaying. Top navigation. No visual or functional issues are apparent in this screenshot. See? So, that's what... We literally just took a screenshot of a page and we dropped it in ChatGPT and asked it to look for bugs. I have seen instances where I will drop a screenshot of an app I'm working on, and it actually finds things. Yo, what's up, Abraham? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. We're really super interesting to you. We're gonna be we are discussing adding AI to your tool chain as a software tester. So very applicable to you. But it is good to see you. I hope you're well and your family's well. Related though, that you will totally understand is I had to explain to Frightful what it meant to be like as a dad. You have to be really non-committal to everything else, like as a husband and a dad, because you'll have people want you to play a game with them online, or like, are you playing this new game? It's like, I have children. Like, I have children, and I have a wife, and I have responsibilities. Like, I have to be non-committal to everything else outside of that. Yeah, and they just did. They're like, what? Because they don't have those responsibilities. But you're doing well. Okay, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm trying to think if there's anything interesting about my life. I do have the Mortal Kombat cabinet right here that I'm going to be modding. Shimmy says, I don't have children, but I've had a wife and I feel it. Yeah, exactly. Like you have to prioritize your spouse. Okay. And it's just a fact. And then as you have children, you continue to give up more freedom, but the benefit is so awesome. Did you see the Witcher 4 tech demo? No, but I'm going to have to check it out now. Heck, we might even watch it here after, if we've got time, if I get through this. I just have to be careful. I changed this stream time from my usual time because of a work meeting, so I have to be very mindful of that hard stop. But I'm going to check that out. But yeah, you guys get it. Like, your free time shrinks, but your like overall happiness, even though it's harder, just increases by having kids and having a family. It's no one can explain to you how awesome it is to have kids. These little like these little well-adjusted sociopaths that you're basically teaching them how to not be sociopaths. Like, here's how you actually act in the world, because they don't know. Their prefrontal cortex is not developed yet. So it's just, there's something really magical about, like, here's a little version, like little pieces of my wife and I in this little being, and I'm teaching them how to be like a human in the world. And as like a Christian, like, here's how you be, like, you don't realize you're witnessing to your kids. Like, this idea that we think we need to go out, and we do, you know, you want to share the message of Christ in your life to other people, but really it starts with your family. If you aren't you know, like, discipling your kids and showing them how to be a good person, a good follower of Christ, like, you're kind of missing the point. At least start with them. You know. Anywho, yeah, it's being a parent. No one can explain it to you till it happens. I've had friends that, like, oh, we're having our first baby. It's like, oh man, no one can explain to you how much things are going to change. Like, it's not like going and getting a dog. It's so different. It's like literally a little person that you're responsible for, and you're responsible for, like, curating their brain so they aren't a little sociopath forever. But they are, like, they're legit gonna be sociopathic, and they're not meaning to. You can't, like, attribute any of those things you would to an adult, like, oh, this person's, you know, they've got malice. It's like, no, it's a baby. In fact, really quick, if you guys are ever interested in kind of how that works, there's this idea of spiral dynamics. It's a good way of explaining the developmental stages. It's used as a societal model, but it could also be just used as like a child model. If you guys are ever interested in this, it's a really, let me see if I can find the best link here. Oh my gosh, mine eyes. Just wanted to find a good diagram while I'm digressing, as I usually do. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so it kind of starts off brown, where you're like instinctive, and that's like your baby. And you keep moving up the spiral, and a society can. And this happens for various reasons, whether it's through advancement, either in literature or society, or as we start to, and this actually I think applies to our conversation. This idea is we automate things, we can move up that spiral, right? And they use security here instead of animalistic, but yeah, it's an idea that you're like brown, or this has kind of like an orange, and as you move it, they use colors to kind of represent, because you can get into these areas where you're transitioning colors. But as a society advances in literature, science, everything, it kind of moves up. And we have models of this because we can look at like tribes and things that are like in unexplored areas. We could see that they're on different parts of the spiral. And we can look at history. We can look at our own development as a society. And some countries are in different parts of the spiral, right? And you could arguably say that the United States kind of goes into different parts of the spiral based on what's going on socio-politically, everything. This idea that there could be more to this spiral, supposedly, who knows, as we automate more things, or maybe we go further down the spiral and we become more animalistic or something. Shimmy says, maybe one day. For now, housing in Berlin sucks. I'm sorry. I can't find a bigger apartment than 40 square meters for 5 years now because I'm not German and have a dog. Oof. I am sorry. depending on where you live here, we're sort of spoiled, I'd say, in the US. At least I feel like I am where we live in East Tennessee. You know, because I wouldn't say land's cheap and plentiful, but it's generally pretty affordable. I don't know. It's like TMI. I don't want to give too much info, but we have many acres here of land. We have farm animals and stuff, and the house isn't that great, but I'm not going to complain. 430 square feet or 1600 euro a month, and I don't know how the euro is. It dollar to dollar, I would assume. Abraham says, though, I have a lot of fear with VO3 coming out. The videos AI can make now are insanely realistic. Yeah, I think the biggest danger with AI videos is deep faking events and things. We could start. It's already bad enough that there's 1.8. Okay, so there's a little. So that might be around. If I was good at math, we might be in like $1,800 to $2,000 US, and that's more than our mortgage, and we have a house and more than 10 acres of land, of forested land that we have animals on. So yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I forgot how many square foot, but we're definitely, and I'm not like humble bragging, I'm just doing a comparison. Like, we have a much larger house. It is an old farmhouse, but that is rough. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought like 18 to 2,000. Yeah, that's more than our mortgage, and we have a house and like over 10 acres of forested land. Technically, the thing is, we are up on a mountain, and it's really hard for us to get to things. So there's a balancing factor there of like, we have to stock more food and resources, and we also are on a well. So if our electricity goes out, things are not fun for a bit. But yeah, Abraham, I agree. Like, there's definitely there's more people that are going to lose jobs. But I think it comes down to people are going to have to learn how to leverage those tools. But I think there's a real problem with potential deepfakes of like events to trick people and to create more dissension. Because you see that with all these AI agents being used, or even human agents being used on social media to confuse people, make a groundswell of a certain opinion that doesn't actually exist in the populace to cause more dissension and arguments. So it's definitely for real. Like, not to get political, brother, in the Baja. But yeah, there's definitely danger there. I think unfortunately we have to keep embracing to understand the tools, as much as it's uncomfortable. Because if you don't understand them, then you'll get caught. I think you'll definitely get caught unawares and get left behind, in the sense that you won't know what's real and what's not. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm trying to get people informed. I want testers, specifically people in my field, to be informed and empowered. Segue. But yeah, take a screenshot, give it to ChatGPT or any model, and you might be surprised what you get in regards to bugs and things. So generate tests. The next thing we can ask ChatGPT to do. The key responsibility of a test engineer is creating test cases. Yep, and AI can definitely help with this, especially with the latest models, which are smarter and capable of processing images and large amounts of data or context. Let's generate some test cases for the Google homepage. Take a screenshot of the web page again, or whatever you're working on. This could be a picture of text, documentation, product requirements, or even network traffic. Alternatively, you can provide the raw text from these documents as well. Upload and prompt, provide AI with the relevant screenshot or text, then ask a simple question like, please generate a test case for this webpage. Let's do the same thing for Twitch. Let's do this again, and we'll just grab his prompt. So let's upload that same screenshot, just in case, give it proper context. We'll do this. The Baja. I'm living in the Baja now. I got my American flag from Korea. It's not a good impression. Excuse me, my allergies are killing me. I'm gonna blow my nose before we send this prompt off. I do apologize. I'll mute my mic. The allergies are driving me crazy. I feel better now. All right, so let's prompt ChatGPT here. Please generate test cases for this web page. Let's see what it does. And again, I don't know if you tried this before, Shimmy, but the first couple times I did this, I felt really icky. It feels, I had mentioned this before, it feels like you're in school and all the menial work you're just given the answers for. That's where it feels like, am I cheating? Like, is this morally wrong? But if you've ever been a QA manager, this is what you do. You're usually checking and empowering other people to do work, and that's what that's what this is. Yeah, let's fire this. We're asking it to generate test cases for the Twitch homepage. Sample test cases for the Twitch browse page should be shown in the screenshot. These are a mix of UI, functional, or visual regression test cases. And look what it generates for you. UI element visibility even gives you kind of functional buckets. It gives you description and expected results. So again, this is like a template. You can go and write these yourself, or you can ask it to write each one. But here it's giving us a really nice, actually, what I would prefer to have kind of a high level. It even gives you test case ID. And I didn't ask it for this stuff. I could be more explicit and ask it, like, give me a test case ID, give me a description, give me test steps, because I didn't say that, right? Again, the garbage in, garbage out thing of context. If I don't give the large language model enough context, it may not give me what I wanted. And that's my fault. Just like if I sent off somebody that reported to me and be like, here, give me this. And they do. It's like, what? You didn't give me this. Well, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me to do this, right? You can't assume. Don't assume, just like you wouldn't assume with someone that you ask to go off and do a task. If you're a parent, you'll understand this. Be explicit with your children. I mean, I will laugh at how explicit I have to be with my kids sometimes. Especially, I have a 7-year-old, and I'm like, son, I need you to go do this. Make sure you do this and this. Do not do this. Like, do not bring your smaller brother with. Do not put him in this cart and then run. Like, be very explicit with your children. So I generated some UI visibility tests and kind of overall descriptions. Functionality, clicking on the stream thumbnail navigates to the stream. Verify carousel allows arrows allow switching featured streams. Verify search functionality returns matching streams. Click show more under live. Layout and responsive. Verify sidebar scrollable. Anyways, so they generated us user state. So it's got tests about if you're a guest. Unauthenticated users should see login and sign up only. And then it gives expected results. No profile picture or logout button appears. And unauthenticated users are prompted when trying to follow a streamer. Clicking follow. These are all good. I mean, a cursory glance here, these are all good test cases for the Twitch page if I was testing Twitch. If you're automating this, these test cases can be implemented with Playwright, Selenium, Cypress. Again, if you're new to testing, you may not be aware of test automation frameworks, or you never thought of it maybe. It's giving you more information and prompting. Using selectors and mock user interactions. Would you like me to generate automated code for any of these tests? We'll just give a thumbs up. I think this was a really good response. Good boy. It's like a dog. Good puppy. Well done. Good and faithful servant. Yeah, and I could be more explicit. Let's say let's say there's a specific test I want to see test steps for. And you write test steps for test case ID TC user 001, and my allergies. Right, a test. Let's say this: a test case with test steps for test case ID TC user. Allergies. So here it's going to give us. Look at this. It's like giving us a JIRA ticket. And you could be explicit. You'd be like, I need this in the format for JIRA. I need this in Markdown format. It gives us environment, test data, preconditions, type, UI functional, priority. I mean, it's just trying to give examples. Module. What's the module or functional area? User interface, authentication header. Title is verify, login, and sign up buttons are visible with the authenticated users. Gives us test steps and expected results. And negative test optional. It's giving us ideas. Again, I don't know if you're still there, Shemi, but you can look at this and be like, this feels icky and wrong. I know some people like this feels really wrong. And likely for me, I would ask for this in MD format. I drop it in our test case management pool. I use .md files now for that. And I would modify this. I would double check it. But in general, I have like the template, and then I'm the Oracle who goes and makes sure this is good. So it's like having a manual tester that's writing test cases for me as a manager. And then I go and say, yeah, this is a good test case, or no, it isn't. Let me change it, or let me give you feedback and have you rewrite it to fit my my requirements. Yeah, this is like, and again, I could say, ask it, please we'll say reformat it in .md format. Again, this is what starts to happen. It's this flow. You being the Oracle, and you being the manager who manages this large language model. It's not obfuscating my capability of thinking. It's kind of the opposite. I don't have to write this whole test case out. I am going to have to if this was a real test case, I would have to modify this file. I would have to check it for accuracy, but I didn't have to start from scratch. I had something to start with. And I may write more test cases that aren't here, or a test case it wrote may spark more test cases that I think of. Again, this is creepy to some people. This is really creepy to some people. Like, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. But I think whether we like it or not, this is kind of future. And then it offers to make this downloadable. Good doggy. But yeah, this is likely what I would do. I would copy that, drop it into my repository as another test case, modify it, add changes, and then push it. Because we manage test cases using .md, and I would highly suggest that if you want to stay away from paid test case management tools, there are ways to publish .md files, make them fully searchable on a little simple web app, and that you can keep all your test cases in a repository. No worries, Shimmy. Enjoy your meeting. I got to jump soon as well for work. But something I want to do a video on in the future is how to manage your test cases using .md files. You can stay away from any of those paid tools, and just manage your own test cases using .md markdown format, and put them in a repository, and then have them published to a web page that's fully searchable, and have them tagged and all that stuff. And it's just beautiful. You can even build your own simple test execution platform, and you own it, and it's fairly simple and easy to manage. You just need a Git repository to drop your .md files in, and then you can have folders to organize them. But we are running short on time. We may have to because we've got still quite a bit here to read, so we may just have to revisit this, or maybe continue to revisit it. Because yeah, I gotta run to work stuff too. But really appreciate you. It was good seeing you, Abraham. All right. I don't know if I have poison oak or something. My kids we went hiking, and one of our boys in my truck, he sits where his foot touches my arm. And I think maybe he had poison oak on his shoes, and he touched my arm. So like, I think it's like here, where he touched it with his shoe, and it's been like itchy ever since. I don't know if I have poison oak. I probably should stop itching it. But yeah, no, I appreciate everyone for hanging out. Frightful, Jimmy, Abraham, it was good seeing you all. I will be back this Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central Time. That's every Monday and Friday at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. Every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. I should just use UTC. Friday, I'm thinking about doing game dev. I'm considering taking, what is it? I think it's this one. Yep. The 20 games challenge. I really want to grow in game dev, and so I'm strongly considering doing the 20 games challenge. Let me see here. I'm going to use the curated list. First game, so game number 1, I think I'm going to go with Flappy Bird clone. So what this is to, instead of having to think of the ideas for a game, I'm sorry, my allergies are so dang bad. You just design, someone basically does the, what would you call it, design, and you are just developing that game that has already been sort of designed for you. So I'm going to make a Flappy Bird clone first in Godot, probably using GD script. And I may start that on Friday unless I change my mind, or maybe we should keep going with this article. But soon I will be doing this 20 games challenge, or start doing this 20 games challenge. And I know you can probably barely see it there. Jabba, get big. Make my monster grow. Weird, it's got this padding on the left that keeps it from getting larger. But yeah, it can kind of give you like a complexity score, which you might be able to see here. Difficulty and complexity. Really, it's 1 star here. Flappy Bird was a mobile game from 2013. It was a sleeper hit, gaining sudden and massive popularity in 2014, likely due to attention from a popular YouTuber at the time. I wonder who that was. They don't name them here. It's a popular game for new developers. It's featured in many first game tutorials. Because there's a couple things you have to do here. You know, create a game world with a floor, because you need some place for your bird or whatever you end up having to go to die. An object that represents the main character, apply a constant force to that character so it falls. So you want to have constant gravity that then the user hits something and causes it to go up. Every time they hit, it kind of resists that gravity, but there's constant force you have to apply to whatever your game token or character is, right? And then obstacles on the right of the game area. They should slide across the screen toward the left. Obstacles will appear in pairs with a vertical gap between them. So they can be, like in Flappy Bird's case, they were basically the pipes from Super Mario. Whatever, you gotta have something there. What are you going to do about those pipes? You could create a really long level and hope that the player never gets to the end. But it would make more sense if you use code to create obstacles when you need them. The game obstacles will move off the screen and never be used again. You might want to delete them once they are no longer useful, or better yet, reuse them by moving them to the right side of the screen once they move off to the left. Detect when the character collides with the floor obstacles and reset the game when a collision occurs. Accumulate 1 point for each obstacle the player passes. Display the score. And they give you stretch goals here too, which is nice. But anyways, digressing. I gotta go very soon. Appreciate all of you. Hope to see some of you on Friday, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Have a great rest of your day. If I don't see you, have a great rest of your week. Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Go outside. Get some fresh air. Eat some decent food. Spend time with people you love and care about. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you. Later.